Do you want to try living in a small town? Small town living equals affordability at its finest in Oklahoma. We have two relatively large metros in Oklahoma, and they're pretty inexpensive compared to some other states. However, you can definitely live a lot more inexpensively in some of these small towns, and we're going to talk about 5 of them. Just because you're living in a small town in Oklahoma doesn't mean that it's inconvenient, unsafe, or even dull. A lot of these small towns, first of all, they have really nice people in them, excellent citizens. A lot of them have some really good home cooking and other things. And a lot of them are close to some of Oklahoma's natural beauty. I did grow up in a small town. This very famous actor-comedian is from there. Maybe you know who he is. If you do and you know the town, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'd love to see your guesses. I am a real estate agent. I do live in the Oklahoma City metro, and specifically I live in Norman. But these 5 towns we're going to talk about are all over Oklahoma. So we're going to talk about the town just a little bit, nothing crazy. And then we're going to look at some houses together to see what the houses are like and how cheap they are. So Altus is the first town we're going to talk about. Okay, so here's Altus on a map. Now this is in far southwestern Oklahoma. Here's Oklahoma City here. And here's Altus. So Altus is like an hour and a half, I believe, drive from Oklahoma City. And we were talking about natural beauty, and it is close to the Wichita Mountains, which honestly, I know a ton of people that go hiking there all the time. So Altus not only has an Air Force base, which is part of the reason why it kind of stays this bustling small town, but it also has a college. The population of Altus is right around 20,000 people. The town to me, and I was just there recently, the town to me feels like something that's kind of been frozen in time in the 1950s, and not in a bad way. So let's look at some of the houses that are available in Altus. Okay, have them pulled up for you here. I love this little yellow house. So it's $195,000 and just over 2,700 square feet. 2,700 square feet, $195,000. And it is in the middle of town. You can kind of tell by the houses next to it. So let's take a look at these photos. So this house has some really kind of quirky features, but it looks really clean and nice, and like it's been updated to some extent. So while those are not real hardwood floors, they do look pretty nice. I love this bathroom for sure. It's not perfect, but for $195,000 to get that much square footage, I mean, you just can't find that anywhere else. Let me know what you think. Would you live here? All right, let's look at one more. Let's try to look at one under $100,000. Let's see here. Oh, here's one. So $95,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet. Looks like it has a 1-car garage. All right, let's take a look. Is it livable? Absolutely livable. Maybe it just, needs a little bit of updating. Nothing terrible, but you could definitely move in tomorrow if you had to. I love those cabinets though. And I believe this one, the backyard, oh, they're not going to show me the backyard. Sorry about that. But under $100,000. You might fancy the location on this one a little bit more. So this one is about an hour and 15 minutes outside of Oklahoma City, and just under an hour, maybe even a little bit closer in some areas, to Tulsa. And this one is 30 minutes outside of Stillwater. So the town we're talking about, you may have guessed, is Cushing. Ring-a-ding-ding. So we can see where Cushing sits. So you can see Stillwater here, and then Tulsa is right here. So I know people definitely drive from Cushing to work in Tulsa every day. So let's look at some houses that we have available in Cushing. So because these are a little bit closer in to Stillwater and Tulsa, they're going to be a little bit more expensive, but you're still going to get quite a good deal on these homes. So this one's $288,000, 2,200 square feet in Cushing. So let's take a look. And this one comes with 5 acres. So this is just some drone shots that they've done of this property. So you'd have a nice fishing pond and lots of other land if you wanted to do something else. And let's get inside this house. So it has a 2-car garage, beautiful mature trees on this one. So what do you think? It's kind of this like updated farmhouse look on the inside, still that kind of like low ceiling 1960s house, but for $288,000 with 5 acres, it might be worth it. So this next one is honestly really out there. It is far from everything. It's an hour and a half from Oklahoma City and from Tulsa. So this town is Holdenville. Now, when I asked my dad about this one, because he grew up not far from here, he said, oh yeah, that's a cow town. So if you're interested in the life of a cowboy, this may be the town for you. So Holdenville has a population of just around 5,000 people. And let me tell you, we can get you a good deal in this town. So let's look at where it's located on the map. So you can see the town here, but I'm, very zoomed in on it. So let's take a look at where it actually is. All right, so what this is Lake Eufaula right here. It's a really popular lake. And then you can see how far it is from Oklahoma City and then Tulsa way up here. So let's look at some of these houses. Holdenville has some really cool stuff. So I can't wait to show you. This is one of my favorite ones. So $259,000 for 3,300 square feet. And it's kind of this cute Victorian style. That's clearly in the middle of town. So this one, I love the porch. I also love the yard and of course the pool. This would probably be a good spot if you were thinking about doing remote work. And you can spend your weekends at the lake. So this house needs a little bit of work on the inside. However, it is completely livable. And you saw from that first picture that it is 2-story. So what I do love about this house is it does look like the kitchen has been updated. So it looks really nice. So is this somewhere you can see yourself living? All right, I want to show you one other house here in Holdenville because I think it is amazing. $170,000, 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,100 square feet. So I didn't show you anything under $100,000 in this town, but dang, would it be cool to live in this house? Just wait for it. I love the floors. I love the outside of this house. But the floors specifically, once we get there, I do like the yard. I think you could really do a lot with that, and the mature trees just help so much. You do have the garage that's out back, and my favorite part is the floors and the craftsmanship on the woodwork, which is craftsman style in the house. Like, it's really gorgeous to me. Not sure what's going on with the green kitchen floors. No idea, but I still think it's wonderful. Let me know what you think. So Oklahoma was kind of established as this agricultural area, right? So that was the main reason that people came here around statehood and shortly after. But we know that right now, agriculture is not why people are flocking to the state. Oklahoma City in and of itself is a destination, whether it be for sports, for starting a new business, for working in oil and gas, or maybe even remote work. We have a lot of new builds going on in the area. You might want to check out my video about new builds. It's right here. There's so many reasons that people are moving to Oklahoma. So really, if you're looking for a new build too, that might be another reason for you to live off the beaten path in some of these small towns. So Alva is another small town, and it is way, way north in Oklahoma. So let's take a look at this town. You may have noticed that my hair is like extra frizzy today and super curly. It is storming today, and so I had to go outside this morning and it got a little wet with rainwater. And even though I dried it after, it doesn't matter, still has this like full body effect going on. Okay, so like I said, Alva is a town in way north Oklahoma. It's almost to the Kansas line. I think this town really been important in the history of Oklahoma, which is why it's still like a bustling kind of small town. So ever since the 19th century, the government's kind of used it for different offices and things like that. So it's about a 2.5 hour drive from Oklahoma City to Alva. So let me show you where it is. So, oh, you can see the Salt Plains National Refuge is right there. So people go out and dig up like selenite during the digging season at the Salt Plains. So you can see here, Oklahoma City, and then Alva way up here. So let's look at some houses that they have available in Alva. So you can definitely find something under $100,000 in Alva. So let's take a look. So this one's gonna be kind of a handyman special, but it's $68,000 for 1,800 square feet. This one needs work, for sure. And you can even tell by the outside of the house and the siding that just needs some paint on it. But look at that beautiful front door. So this one's definitely gonna be kind of downtown-ish. I mean, it's Alva and there's 5,000 people. So don't expect too much on the downtown, but still very quaint and really charming. So it looks like these are original hardwood floors in the house, but I can't tell because I'm not standing in the house, and I do like the woodwork here. So if you're looking for something to kind of fix up as you're living in it, I think this is probably one that you could do that with. It would be a lot of work for sure, but you could really make that kitchen amazing. And I like those floors because that's the style of floors that's really interesting for mid-century style homes. Let's look at one more house out here in Alva to see what you could get for, oh man, I had one earlier. This one's $120,000 and it's 1,600 square feet. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know where else you could get a 1,600 square house that's $120,000. And once again, it looks like this one needs a little bit of work. It has a carport. I love carports. I wish houses had more of them. I don't really understand why we don't use those. This house has been lived in and it looks like it's pretty much untouched since it was built. So you would really need to do some work on it. Once again, that kind of handyman special. Next up is a town that's actually pretty close to Norman. It's about a 45-minute drive and it's connected by a turnpike to Blanchard. So it just makes it kind of an easy drive. But the town I'm talking about is Chickasha. I have such a good house to show you for this town. I love it so much. Okay, so Chickasha, like I said, is about 45 minutes from Norman. Why is that important? Well, I do know people who will live in Chickasha and drive to Norman to work. You know, it's up to you if that 45-minute drive is too long. The thing about Chickasha and Norman is like there is no traffic in between those two cities. I just recently drove this. So Chickasha actually has a university. It's called the University of Science and Arts in Oklahoma. So the town itself has around 16,000 people. Homes in this town, because it's a town of 16,000, we're gonna find a little bit more than we found in other towns. But this one is by far my favorite. All right, so check out this little yellow house. So $330,000, 4-bed, 3-bath, and 3,800 square feet. It is a 2-story house as well. So let's pull this up and take a look on the inside. So I love the porch, love the brick steps. And then the inside has been, it's really nice. It's really nice. Love these floors. Looks like they're engineered hardwood. We've got the wooden beams up top. And the kitchen is gorgeous with the white cabinets, a little bit of the stain on the doors and on the hood. Ultimately, I think this house, so many people would be happy here. And really the price is not something that you can get in the metro. So if you can handle living a little bit further out, then this is something that you could get. Let's look at the backyard if we can. So lots of grass. Looks like it has a garage that's kind of off to the side there, not attached to the rest of the house. I do wish that the porch was covered, but it's still a really cool house. And this is a storm shelter right here. So that's what the little thing is. And it's nice because you can just go right outside and get in it. So which one of these small towns would you live in? If you need more information about Oklahoma, I would check out one of these 2 videos here, or both of them, if you would like. I also have a relocation guide for Oklahoma City and some other towns like Blanchard and Norman. You can check those out in the description below.